Episode 1, The Beginning of Numberville, Extended Story for Math Comprehension by Chris Tutor. In the magical land of Numberville, every number had a special place, and each one had its own unique personality. The numbers were all different, but they worked together to keep their world balanced and thriving. At the center of Numberville lived Number 1, the strong and independent leader. Number 1 was known for always standing alone, but was never lonely. "I can create so much by myself," said Number 1. "But I can also make new friends when needed." When joined by others, Number 1 could become any number, from 10 to 100 and beyond. Next door to Number 1 lived Number 2, who loved company. Number 2 was all about partnerships. "Things are better in pairs," Number 2 would say, always encouraging the other numbers to work together. Whether it was creating even numbers like 4, 6, or 8, or showing how things can be shared evenly, Number 2 was always there to help. Number 3 was the playful one, always in a group of 3. "I'm full of creativity," said Number 3. "You can see me everywhere, like in triangles, trios, and even when 3 friends get together for fun." Number 3 also taught the others about odd numbers, showing that sometimes things didn't always come in perfect pairs. But something was missing in Numberville. One day, there was a knock on the town's door. Standing outside was a mysterious visitor, 0. All the other numbers looked at 0 in confusion. "Why is there a number that stands for nothing?" they whispered among themselves. 0 felt shy. "I may look like I have nothing to offer, but I'm more powerful than you think." The other numbers were curious. What could 0 possibly do? Soon, the numbers began to discover the magic of 0. Number 1 stood next to 0 and became 10, then 100, then 1000. 0 showed how powerful it could be, multiplying the value of numbers and helping them reach new heights. "Without me, you wouldn't be able to create large numbers," 0 explained. "I'm the key to making thousands, millions, and even billions." 0's arrival also helped explain how numbers work together to form whole numbers, numbers like 0, 1, 2, and 3 that are used for counting and measuring. The numbers realized that even though 0 represented nothing on its own, it was essential in creating something great. As the days went on, the numbers began to explore more about themselves. They discovered that some of them were natural numbers, like 1, 2, 3, and so on, numbers that people used to count. Others, like 1 and 2, were called integers, and they came from a land far beyond Numberville, where they traveled in 2 directions, positive and negative. One day, Number 5 and Number 2 got into a discussion. "I'm an odd number," said Number 5, "and you're an even number. We'll never agree on anything." But as they worked together, they discovered that by adding or subtracting, they could create all kinds of new numbers. For example, when 5 added 2, they became 7, another odd number. But when 5 added 3, they became 8, an even number. Number 4, always eager to learn more, asked, "What about numbers that aren't whole or natural, like fractions?" That's when rational numbers stepped in. Rational numbers explained that they could be written as fractions, like half or 3/4, and still fit into the Numberville system. Even numbers like 0.5 or 2.75 were welcome. They were decimal numbers, which are just another way of representing fractions. Then there was irrational numbers, who added mystery to the mix. "I can't be written as a simple fraction," said irrational numbers. "I go on forever without repeating, like the number pi." The other numbers were amazed. How could a number go on forever without repeating? But they welcomed irrational numbers, too, realizing that every number had its unique value. Together, these numbers formed the real numbers family. The real numbers included all types: whole numbers, natural numbers, integers, rational numbers, and even irrational numbers. They realized they could all live together in harmony, helping one another to grow and learn. As the numbers explored their town, they began to play games with each other. Odd numbers like 1, 3, 5, and 7 gathered on one side of the street, while even numbers like 2, 4, 6, and 8 stood on the other. They challenged each other to a race, adding and subtracting themselves to see which team could come up with the biggest number. The fun never stopped. By the end of the day, 0 had found a special place in Numberville.
The other numbers realized that they were all important in their own way.
Some were odd, some were even, and some were rational or irrational. But when they worked together, they created an amazing system that made counting, measuring, and solving problems possible.
Learning focus 1.
Types of numbers: natural numbers, counting numbers like 1, 2, 3, and so on. Whole numbers, numbers that include 0 along with natural numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3.
Integers, positive and negative whole numbers, including 0, 3, 2, 0, 1, 2.
Rational numbers, numbers that can be written as fractions or decimals, half, 3/4, 0.25, 2.5. Irrational numbers, numbers that can't be written as simple fractions, like pi and 2. Real numbers, all the numbers on the number line, including natural, whole, integers, rational, and irrational numbers. Even and odd numbers, even numbers are divisible by 2, 2, 4, 6, and odd numbers aren't, 1, 3, 5.
2.
Place value, understanding that numbers can grow larger with the help of 0, creating bigger numbers like 10, 100, and 1000. Through this story, students are introduced to the different types of numbers in a fun and engaging way, helping them see the relationships between numbers and how they work together to form the foundations of math. Glowing star, dive into the glowing star, dive into the world of learning. Glowing star, want more exciting educational stories and catchy music that make learning fun? Musical notes, books. Follow us on our social media platforms for the latest updates and adventures in the world of math and science. Don't miss out on the magic, join our community and watch your curiosity come alive. Rocket, sparkles, follow us now and let the learning journey begin.
Party popper,